Making dreams come true. How do you do that?
Yes, every project ever done in the world has started as the dream of just one person. But what we found was that 90% of projects get stuck in the dreaming stage. And the reason why is people fail to share their dreams. So if you want to make your dreams come true, the first thing you have to do is to share your dreams and build a team around your dream that supports you in making it happen. That's only the first step. The second step is that people don't plan to fail, they only fail to plan. So what you need to do is to take your dream team, your supporters, and together work out a plan to make your dream come true. The third step, obviously, is doing it. And what we found from experience was that 90% of projects fail to work according to plan. And the reason why is there's too much of a gap between the planning and the doing. We need to find ways of integrating the two. So that's the third step. And then we found that 90% of projects that are done, of small projects, of new enterprises, of non-government organisations, fail to last longer than 3 years. And the reason why, we discovered, was that they leave out the fourth step. What we discovered was that 25% of everything needs to be celebration. Because it's celebration that connects the doing back to the dreaming. And if you're not celebrating at least 25% of the time, you'll get burnout. And the project will become too much, and then you'll want to leave, and then it'll collapse, and the project won't last. So those are the 4 steps of making your dream come true: dreaming, planning, doing, and celebrating.
Fantastic. And so you invite people to consciously dream?
We invite people to come and share their dreams, and we've got a process that we say that, to make your dreams come true, your dream needs to die. Because what happens is, if I'm working on Chris Johnston's dream, there's a different energy than if I'm working on our dream. And so the personal ownership of the dream needs to die so the dream can be reborn as the collective dream of a group of people who work then to make it happen. But the interesting thing is that those 4 steps, the dreaming, the planning, the doing, and the celebrating, are actually 4 different kinds of people. If you're a doer, you're a person who likes getting things done, your biggest frustration will be to work with dreamers all day long. And if you're a planner, you tend to find the celebrators are chaotic and disorganised, and you're always trying to organise them. And the celebrators just find the planners boring. But to make your dream come true, you need a team that has all 4 kinds of people in it.
Right. So how do you go about recruiting a team to support you to bring your dream into action?
The way in which we do that is through what is called a generative question. And a generative question is a question that has emotional power in the life of the person you're asking. So what I would do, for instance, if I was to enrol you into a project I'm doing, okay? For example, at the moment, we've got a big project in Western Australia, or in Australia. We're setting up a Schumacher College in Australia. And what I would do would be to ask you, Chris, this is the project we're trying to do. And I know that if I was left to do that project alone, it would fail. And so what I would like to ask you is this question. What would this project have to be like so that over a period of 6 months you are able to say, yes, this was the best possible project I could have got involved in. But I'm so glad to have got involved in that project. And then we capture your dream.
Right.
And everybody in the team shares their dream like that. And it'll go around and around and around in the circle until everyone in the project has passed. They've captured all of their dreams. And that becomes the new project that we work on to make 100% of those dreams come true.
So what you're really describing, John, is a way from moving from an individual fantasy to a collective team collaborative effort.
Exactly. One of the things, organisations and businesses and governments have difficulty relating to the name Dragon Dreaming. So we say Dragon Dreaming is a consensual participatory strategic planning approach to building organisations and projects of ecologically sustainable community development. But Dragon dreaming is so much easier to say.
What tips or advice might you have for people who are looking at what's happening in our world and say, well, you know, my dreams are just so far away from reality that I just can't see them happening?
One of the things we say is that with people who get blocked in the dreaming stage, that, you know, on the statistics that I gave you, if you start with 1,000 dreams and 90% of them get blocked in the dreaming stage, that means only 100 of them turn into plans. And if we say 90% of projects fail to work according to plan, that means only 10 of those plans get done. And if we say that 90% fail to last longer than 3 years, that means only one of them, 1 out of the 1,000, lasts longer than 3 years. And the thing is, in our win-lose world, in our culture that is based on the win-lose game, the zero-sum game, people know that. And so what happens is they give up their dreams. Aboriginal people say that people who give up their dreams, they've lost part of their soul. There's a verse from the Bible that says that when people lose their vision, they perish. And there are symptoms of soul loss: apathy, fatalism, feelings of powerlessness, shortening of the future horizon, just living from day to day, addictive behaviours, blaming yourself, blaming other people, violence of the victims against the victims, and a slow slide to depression. Now, these are the dominant symptoms of our age. You know, the endless chasing after happiness with thinking that consumerism will make me happy and the next thing I buy will solve all the problems. This is symptoms of people who've lost their dream. Because who you are in life, the meaning that you have in life is a result of the projects you do. Who you are is all the skills you've developed as a result of the projects you've done. And so it's by doing projects that you can get your dream back again, and you can get your vision back again, and you can see that you can make it come true.
So what you're also describing is a pathway to a happier, more satisfying life.
Oh, totally. Totally. It's a life more full of meaning. You know, one of the things that they've discovered is that the people who live out of gratitude, they're the people who have a happiest life. The research shows they're the people who live longest. And so finding a way to do that through living a purposeful life is the source of happiness.
That if you live a life you fully have your heart behind,
exactly,
that's heading towards a dream that excites you,
exactly,
that involves
working with other people, working constructively within a living environment, then it's the joy of life. In the dreaming of dragon dreaming, the dreaming of dragon dreaming is to build a new win-win-win culture. It's a culture that wins for the individual, it's a culture that wins for the community, and it's a culture that wins for the earth. That's the first step. That's the dream of dragon dreaming. The planning of dragon dreaming is a design philosophy to help people organise successful projects and organisations. So that's the planning. The doing of dragon dreaming is a toolbox of techniques and skills that people can apply to a whole range of projects and organisations. And finally, the celebration of dragon dreaming. Dragon dreaming is a community of practitioners who support each other in making their dreams come true. One of the things we do after we've completed the dream circle, and this is really interesting, is we read the collective dream of everybody without mentioning their names, and we read it in the past tense as though it has already happened. And that step of reading the dream in the past tense, the degree of motivation, the collective motivation it builds to make that project happen, is enormous. It's huge, and people get a lot out of it.